Hi, y'all. I wanted to check in with you. We're a little bit past mid-month, and so I wanted to check in about how you're doing with the book club book, if you're reading it, and how I might be able to give you a little bit of information if you're not reading it, because I want to be sure that regardless, you can join us in our conversation about confidence at the end of this month on February 28th. Our Do Not Disturb, No Pressure Book Club for Women. We're coming together on February 28th. It's a book club because, yes, we are centering on a particular topic covered by a book. This month it is the Confidence Code, but also it's no pressure because even if you don't read the book, I want to give you information, enough of a little bit of a kind of context for you to jump in the conversation, because it's more about connecting with other women and talking about these topics that are sometimes challenging for us, and sometimes we would love to have some encouragement from other women on, and also an opportunity for us to come together and have maybe our next thoughts or develop what it is we're going to do next in this area. So Confidence Code is this month. If you are reading it, I would love to know how it's going for you. Please send me a message. I would love to hear how it's going, and that also helps me to prepare for our conversation at the end of the month. But if you're not reading it, or if you are kind of stuck, I'll tell you, I was stuck when I first started reading it. It's not the first time I've read the book, but I was kind of slow going at the beginning. And I want to address that a little bit and also give you maybe a couple of takeaways that you can process. So one thing I want to say is I've heard some of you say that you're loving how it's very much like research-based and kind of textbooky in the way it's written. It's written by journalists, not scientists, but they've really done a lot of work into summarizing the research in the area of confidence. So if you're into that, just know this is definitely one of those books that gives you all the research and the background on it. If you're not, and you're struggling with that, the facts part of it or the textbook nature of it, I'm going to give you a quick little hack here. Skip to chapter 6. Because chapter 6, although all through the book, it talks about action, and there's some great insights all through the book. Chapter 6 is called Failing Fast and Other Confidence Boosting Habits, because it really, really then gets into, all right, what do we do about it, right? So we know these things, we've learned this stuff from the research. What do we do about it? How do we build new habits? So jump to chapter 6 if you're feeling kind of stuck on the rest. And with that, I'll also say something that has been clearly a theme throughout the entire book, and clearly a finding that the authors have had and researchers have had, is the connection between confidence and taking action, particularly the tendency for many women to get stuck in thinking and overthinking, and then kind of thinking themselves and talking themselves out of taking the action. And really, really the thing that builds confidence the most is action, because then the more you do stuff, the more you realize you can do stuff, and so that grows your confidence, right? So I've been really paying attention to when I'm a big overthinker, and so I've been paying attention to when do I need to I don't need to think about this anymore. I actually can just go ahead and take the next action, do the thing, and move on from there. I've been thinking about that a lot. I'm funny thinking about it, but I've been catching myself as I think about it. And I've been noticing, I guess, where, you know what, maybe I can ask myself a new question and say, okay, are you done? Have you figured this out? Are you ready to take action now? Or, you know what, what's the harm in just jumping in and doing it? So I've been really kind of focusing on how that might help me move forward in places where my confidence really could use some strengthening, because we've all got them. The other thing I think that is really great and refreshing for me is this idea. We often say I'm not very confident, or, you know, we see people as either confident people or not confident people, or we see ourselves as having confidence or lacking confidence. And one of the things that are pointed out in the book that I thought was really refreshing is that confidence actually can be very situational, because there can be times when you feel really, really confident in certain situations in your life. You've taken a lot of action there, so you built your confidence in that area. But there are other areas, maybe they're not your strong suit, so of course you're not going to feel confident there. Maybe you've never done that thing before. Of course you're going to feel not as confident there. It doesn't mean you're not a confident person. It just means that you have a decision to make whether or not you want to take action and build your confidence in that area too. So you can be confident in some places, and you can stop kind of going, I don't understand, I'm usually a pretty confident person. Well, yeah, over there you're confident. Over here you got to take some action and keep moving forward. So just the whole idea of action, I think, has been really sticking out to me this time, even though it's like really heady and research oriented in the book. What's coming out and just jumping off every page is we got to get out of that thinking too and take action from there. So I hope that this little bit of a synopsis is helpful for you in helping you get an idea of what the book is about. Yes, it's about confidence. There's a lot of nuances and a lot of similarities between confidence and other terms or traits we assign to ourselves and others. And that all is discussed in the book. The big thing that's coming through over and over again to me, though, is the connection between confidence and taking action, and particularly getting ourselves out of that stuck place in between where we're just thinking and overthinking about things, and just go ahead and do it. That's where you get to build your confidence. Okay, I hope I get to see you on February 28th for our Do Not Disturb, No Pressure book club for women. Click the link to register so you get the Zoom link and you can join the conversation. And send me a message if you have any questions or any thoughts or comments. I would love to hear from you. It helps me really build that connection of the conversation that we have, but I get to have connection with you now too, which I love too. All right, bye-bye.